Hello and welcome to Sports News Africa, the home of Africa's sporting conversation. Let's take a look at the headlines. Relief for Nigeria as the Super Eagles revive their hopes of qualifying for the AFCON finals. The indomitable Lions avoid another disappointment and get their campaign back on track. But there was heartbreak in Abidjan as Ivory Coast suffered a shock defeat at home. Thank you for joining us here on Sports News Africa. I'm Angela Agor. The Super Eagles have finally got their first win in the qualifying rounds for the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations finals. Up until the game against Sudan in Abuja on Wednesday, Nigeria had only managed 1 point from its first 3 matches. This win has lifted the defending champions to the third in Group A.
Thousands of loyal Super Eagles football fans trooped into the Abuja National Stadium in Nigeria to support a declared grudge war against Sudan following the 1-0 drubbing they gave the Africa Cup of Nations defending champions back at home in Khartoum last week. Ibrahim Nuhu, a die-hard Super Eagles fan, said even though he wished Sudan to lose, he was aware of the unpredictable nature of the game.
That is a football. Whether good or not, as a football fans, you have to bear it. That is why we are here today again to cheer them up to victory today against Sudan.
The 3-1 final score satisfied the fans like Igor Peterside, a former Super Eagles goalkeeper who watched the match, and Collins Udo, who congratulated the Eagles, adding that sometimes the end justifies the means.
No, congratulations, we won. That's what that matters. I don't care how you win, just win. We won today. If we had played badly in Sudan and won, we would have qualified by now. So the good thing about it, just play badly, win. 10 years from today, no one cares how you played. It's the result that will be on the FIFA or CAF list.
When you're playing a high-pressure game like this, tactics goes out the window. It doesn't matter how you set up at the beginning. You know, everybody has to call for each other, everybody work for each other, everybody has to pull together, and that's what the team did today. You know, they didn't score in the first half, they didn't lose it, they still went ahead and scored, they considered a goal, you know, but they pulled it together again, and they got two goals in the final minutes. So at that point, you know, tactics don't really matter much. What matters is the result at the end of the day.
The Eagles are now third place in Group A with 4 points, while Sudan trails with 3. South Africa leads with 8 points and Congo is second with 7 points.
3-1.
And despite that win, the Nigeria Football Federation parted company with national coach Stephen Keshi after the game. He has now been replaced by former coach Shaibu Amodu, who will take temporary charge. We will have more on that later for you in the programme. Staying with the qualifiers, these next 2 teams have now met twice in the space of 4 days in the same city. Cameroon hosted Sierra Leone in Yaoundé, and this time the indomitable Lions were quick off the mark to prevent any further heroics from Sierra Leone, who salvaged a point following a scoreless draw in their first encounter.
Early goals got Cameroon back on the winning trail in their 2015 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying as they defeated Sierra Leone 2-0 on Wednesday. Both came from close-range headers, with Leonard Kiwike scoring on 4 minutes and captain Stéphane Biya 3 minutes later. After starting Group D with victories over the Democratic Republic of Congo and Ivory Coast during September, Cameroon were held 0-0 by Sierra Leone 4 days ago. That draw was also played in Yaoundé, with Sierra Leone ceding home advantage because of the Ebola epidemic. Cameroon have 10 points from 4 games or are on the brink of qualifying for the finals in Morocco. The indomitable Lions won the Cup of Nations title 4 times between 1984 and 2002, but failed to qualify for the last 2 editions.
In the first minutes, they were in a hurry and they scored a goal. We were not ready for them to score a goal like that. They scored and they won.
Okay. Ils sont marqués ici. Ils sont gagnés.
Aujourd'hui, le manager a travaillé pour essayer de trouver des solutions. C'est ce qu'on a fait. On a trouvé des solutions.
Today we worked well to try and find solutions, and we did. We found answers all over the pitch. We need another old hand to play alongside these young, inexperienced players. We need everyone to get there. The next game will be a game like any other, and we will prepare well and think about this game.
Ça sera un match comme les autres. On va mieux le préparer et penser à ce match-là.
Zambia's captain Chris Katonga was thrown out of the squad in recent days after falling out with the coaching staff. But that hasn't derailed the Chipolo Polos campaign as they secured a 3-0 victory on Wednesday against the side that held them to a scoreless draw only 4 days earlier.
Zambia's Chipolo Polo 3-0 victory over Niger in a crucial 2015 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier match on Wednesday revived the country's hopes of playing in Morocco and sparked wild celebrations in the capital, Lusaka. Fans who watched the enthralling match on giant screens across the city could not hide their happiness. After a goalless first half, goals from Rainford Kalaba, Emmanuel Mayuka and goalkeeper Kennedy Mwene in the second half were enough to put smiles on Zambians' faces, including coach Ona Janza, who had come under sharp criticism following a frustrating start to the qualifying campaign.
Definitely the match was exciting. 3-0, it's a big win for us. After draws and losses, I think Zambia is going into the next direction.
But we were technically sound in the second half. We controlled the game. We saw in the first half it was a little bit down, but in the second half we played as accordance to what the coach told the team.
I think the next game we should be winning as well, and then this is just a good result for us.
The 2012 African champions now move to 5 points and are back in the fight for a place among the 16 finalists. In Group F, with Cape Verde who lead with 9 points, Zambia ties with Mozambique with 5 points, while Niger is at the bottom with 2.
Welcome back to Sports News Africa. As we had mentioned earlier, Nigeria might have won its match against Sudan in the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers on Wednesday, but it wasn't good enough for the national coach, Stephen Keshi, to avoid the axe. The Nigeria Football Federation met after the Sudan game and took the decision to replace Keshi with 56-year-old Shaibu Amodu, who is returning for what will be his 4th time as the national coach of the Super Eagles. His greatest achievement with the national team was a bronze finish in the same tournament back in 2002. Toye Nibitoye has just been appointed as the new media officer of the Nigeria Football Federation. This is his first television interview with the international media since his appointment. Toyin, tell us, how did the news of Keshi's sacking and Shaibu's appointment come about?
Well, I wouldn't say it was a total surprise because in the last couple of games, we've struggled to get the results. And apart from just not getting the result on the pitch, the vibes from the camp, from the players, it's not been good. It's like the dressing room fell apart. And wasn't just looking good, wasn't looking good at all for Keshi. So it's not really a surprise that Keshi has been told to go.
The change of coach comes after Nigeria had won their fortunes, and their fortunes had turned around. So how has everybody responded?
Yeah, yesterday we beat Sudan 3-1. And I mean, if you saw the game, after every goal, the players would run to congratulate the coach, obviously showing that they were playing for the coach and that they knew that a lot was at stake in that game. Well, we've been able to put our destiny back in our own hands, because if we win our games against Congo in Brazzaville or Pointe Noire and beat South Africa in Uyo, we could still have a ticket to the Nations Cup. So, yes, our destiny back in our hands, but still a lot of work to do if we want to be in Morocco next January.
Shaibu has coached Nigeria 3 times before. Why is he the man for the job now?
Yeah, you're very correct. Amodu Shaibu has been there 4, 5 times. And I mean, of late, he's become more of a rescue mission worker. comes in when we're almost out of running for qualifying games and tournaments, and then he finds a way to stabilize the team and bring them back. And unfortunately, he always will miss out on the main thing. So, but then this time around, the NFF have announced that he's just coming for 2 games. That's the game against Sudan, I beg your pardon, against Congo and against South Africa. So he already knows that he's not there for a long time. He's just here on a rescue mission. And then if we get a ticket to the Nations Cup in January, they will make arrangements to get an expatriate coach to lead the team. So Amodu knows from time that he's not there for the long haul.
I know you touched upon it briefly earlier, but can Nigeria now turn around and qualify for Morocco 2015?
If you look at the way the games have gone in these qualifying games, you know that one thing describes the games we've seen so far, unpredictability. You saw Cameroon playing a draw in Yaoundé against Sierra Leone and turning it around on Wednesday. You saw Côte d'Ivoire beat Congo DR in Congo DR and then losing at home to the same team. You saw Ethiopia losing at home to Mali and then going to Mali to pick points away from home. So anything is possible. For the Eagles, what they need to do is keep the focus, keep the hunger, keep the commitment, go to Congo, Brazzaville, get the results, and then tidy it up when they host South Africa and Uyo. Anything is possible, and I think the Eagles can turn it around.
That was Toyin Ibitoye, the Nigerian Football Federation's media officer. Let us give you a wrap of the rest of the results from Wednesday's qualifiers. Cape Verde defeated Mozambique 1-0 and are edging ever closer toward the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations finals in Morocco, after a dramatic match day 4 of qualifying. Sports News Africa's Temeskin de Besai has compiled this next report on the results.
Cape Verde defeated Mozambique 1-0 on Wednesday and are edging ever closer to its qualifying for the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations after a dramatic match day 4 of qualifying. Algeria, on the other hand, have secured qualification as goals from Yassine Brahimi, Riyad Mahrez and Islam Slimani earned the Desert Foxes a 3-0 triumph over Malawi. Algeria are the only team with a perfect record after 4 rounds and lead Group B by 6 points from Mali, with Ethiopia and Malawi 3 points further behind. The biggest shock of this round of matches came in the form of victory for the Democratic Republic of Congo, who stunned Ivory Coast 4-3 in Abidjan. Ivory Coast conceded 4 goals for the second time in 3 games, as they wiped out a 2-goal deficit, with 10 men only to be beaten by a late goal. Ghana also stayed on track to qualify with a 3-1 home win against Guinea. After failing to score in 3 matches, Angola overwhelmed Lesotho 4-0 in Luanda. Egypt were 2-0 winners over Botswana in Cairo, and Ethiopia shocked Mali 3-2 in Bamako.
Moving on to other news now, Benin's best skaters have been showcasing their talents in front of thousands of spectators as they prepare to take part in the Continental Skating Championships scheduled for next December. The Games will be held in Senegal.
Thousands of spectators in Benin recently gathered to watch inline skaters showcase their stance at the annual National Skating Championships held in the capital seaport city, Cotonou. The skaters showcased techniques which included navigating over and around several obstacles. The street shows were also preparations for the teams which will be participating in this year's Africa Games Skating Championships in Dakar, Senegal. Abraham Amosu, who was crowned champion in the national championships after jumping over 5 meters in the long jump junior category, said he is working hard to do his best in Senegal.
These finals require a lot of work. There is also a full technical team that supports the athletes.
The team includes several female skaters who are equally comfortable at outshining their male counterparts in stands. Maurice Chibozo, president of Roller Skating Federation of Benin, watched the national championships and is confident of the team.
The performances and results were very impressive.
This year's Africa Games Skating Championships will be the 7th edition and will take place from December 20th up until the 21st.
You are watching Sports News Africa. There will be an anxious wait for both Albania and Serbia to see whether they will be slapped with sanctions by Europe's football governing body UEFA following the violence that broke out on Tuesday night. The Euro 2016 qualifier match had to be abandoned after a low-flying drone sparked clashes, which have been described by the UEFA president as inexcusable. Here's Temesgen Debasai again for more on that story.
The European Union expressed disappointment Wednesday over the provocation that forced the cancellation of a Serbia Albania football match and praised Belgrade for its handling of the incident. Players clashed on Tuesday after a drone carrying a pro-Albanian flag was flown over the Belgrade stadium, where the two sides were playing a Euro 2016 qualifier. Relations between Tirana and Belgrade have been strained over the issue of Kosovo and the Albanian minority in southern Serbia, who frequently demand more autonomy. World football boss Sepp Blatter and UEFA President Michel Platini on Wednesday strongly condemned the violent scenes that forced the match to be abandoned. Platini called the politically charged violence in Belgrade inexcusable, while Blatter said football should never be used for political messages. UEFA is expected to formally open an investigation into the events after studying reports from the match referee and coordinator.
And that's the end of Sports News Africa for today. Join us again tomorrow when we bring you all the latest from Africa and around the world. Bye for now.